Hello world, hello Australia, Jamie here, the Crypto Koala. Now today I've got a special guest. His name's Duncan McIntyre. He is the co-founder and CMO of Realista. Now Realista is going to be the first ICO on the NEO blockchain in Australia. So I'm really excited to have the interview with Realista and with Duncan today. Mate, it's a public holiday here in Queensland, so I thought I'd just make the most of it and reach out to Duncan. I understand where he is. It's not a public holiday, so he's in the office. How you going, Duncan?
Yeah, very well, thanks. It's great to be on here and, looking forward to getting deep into what Realista is doing and how it's utilizing the NEO blockchain. So it's great to be on here, Jamie. I'm glad we finally got a chance to have the interview. It's great.
Yeah, great stuff, mate. Well, I'll get started. So, mate, tell us a bit about yourself and tell us about your team.
Yeah, of course. So Realista has been around for about 2 years now in terms of research and development. So we started off in just the end of 2015, me and my old man, my dad, Alex. He used to be a local real estate agent in our area when I was growing up. And obviously being in Australia, we noticed realestate.com.au and Domain, some of the big leading players in the industry, were just constantly raising their prices. So, I noticed the problems that happened with my old man. And how much he was paying constantly to be a real estate agent in the local area and vendors. And then so we set out to build this, amazing tech platform together and really empower individuals within the industry. So we've been doing that for two and a half years. We launched last July. And the uptake's just been amazing, mate. So we've been really kicking off. And then the whole cryptocurrency side of it was just a massive plus for us because we saw this, new uptake, a new way to, utilize the blockchain for traditional applications.
Oh, awesome. I've seen you've got some advisors on board. It seems like you've got your marketing covered. You've got experience within the real estate industry. Now, the realestate.com is massive, and I understand, it does. It costs you that small fee or bigger fees now because it's ever increasing to go through, them online applications where, you can look for property and buy and sell property online.
Definitely. Well, I'll put a bit of a perspective on it. Realestate.com this year is making, off the top of my head, around about $700 million. And that's off a population of 23 million people, which is just, very exuberant. My dad, to put in perspective, it's an interesting story. Came to him and had connections. They were nearly going broke, actually. And they said, should we do property.com.au or realestate.com.au? Oh, so, Dad's been around for a very long time. And, they started off as merely trying to bring the paper online. And here we are, fast forwarding, 18 years later. And if I wanted to list my house where I am right now, it would cost in excess of $2,000 for just 30 days.
Wow.
So just exuberant fees. And, we bought in the whole blockchain element and also obviously on top of our existing more centralized front end to really empower individuals and just let all parties connect directly, which is how it should be. That's sort of where we've come from. So we actually, in terms of advisors, we're very picky. So, we've got amazing in-house people that've been working with us for the last year and a half, really getting off the ground, talking to all these agents, getting them involved. And then we went out into the crypto space and we found some people that we felt were very influential. So we got, Anders Larsen, who recently joined, and Joe Keem. They used to work at Ericsson. They worked on the initial 3G, which has been very powerful. So they know about marketing. They know about especially NEO-based ICOs, which was a great addition to the team for us. And, we've got a few others that have really helped us in the space and talking with, different parties. So, we've really got a solid team now, and we've been really excited to relaunch our brand new website and really kick it off in the NEO community and sort of tap into the ecosystem.
Brilliant, mate. So, mate, tell us more about the Realista, about what Realista actually is all about.
Of course. So Realista was built as a real estate platform. And when I say platform, not an initial portal, to directly connect agents with buyers and vice versa. So an agent can directly upload their listing from their phone or wherever they are, right out into their network. So that's a network they might have built over their career, or just people genuinely in the suburb or target market that are looking for properties directly from the people that live and breathe this market. So we built it for the individuals. A very I don't like to normally use this, but an Uber-like approach is built from the drivers up. We're doing the same approach. So it's built from the agents. So we built this for the little guy to harness his personal brand, get out there in the market and actually go ahead and list properties for next to nothing on behalf of the vendor and find buyers directly. So we built this as a platform that can really directly connect all parties in real estate on a global scale as well. So we started off very Australia focused. And then we realized after talking to many agents around the world and all different real estate centric people that this problem exists everywhere. No matter where you are, some worse than others. Advertising properties online, reaching those buyers, it's a very tedious process and very expensive. So we wanted to speed that up and provide a platform where they actually build a profile throughout their career and continue to grow and eventually get to a point where they have so many buyers on their Realista profile that you wouldn't list your property anywhere else. So we've been working on that for a while, and it's really starting to kick. So we've got over, I think, 45,000 registered agents worldwide at the moment.
Wow.
That love the platform, they love the concept. They're just really waiting to see it kick, and we're months away from that real mass engagement on a large scale with buyers. So we've been refining the product. The team has been working around the clock, making sure that our iOS, Android, and web platforms are just through the roof and really doing good service. And then we're really excited for our massive international rollout. And on the back of that, launching RAT, which is our token, which is
great stuff. Well, mate, how come you chose blockchain technology? Like, how come you use blockchain technology as part of Realista?
Yeah. So we actually, and I was just an avid cryptocurrency investor when I first started off. I'm sure that's how most people get into it. Took a punt on a few coins a bit over a year ago. Started researching a little bit more. Here you go. One of my first buys was actually NEO, and I'll get to that later why I love it. We actually looked at that, and I was thinking to myself, because traditionally when you're going through any sort of startup, you have to raise capital, right? And we've been fully self-funded from day one because we're very passionate about what we do. And we realized, this is a new wave of giving startups funding, and not only doing that, giving access to the little guy in terms of being a part of something bigger, from an investment standpoint, but also a community aspect. So I was just instantly, so drawn to cryptocurrency as a whole. And you start talking about smart contracts and how powerful they can be from a settlement sense and investing and, how it is. And then here we are actually, started researching more and then moved down the path of actually, setting one up for Realista and building a decentralized backend that can utilize the blockchain for storing property data and all this sensitive information that is normally, and as you see, I'll get into it later again, it's controlled by middlemen. Even the data feeds you talk about in real estate, you can see it on our website. We talk about how controlled it is, even just in terms of data. And that's why realestate.com and these big websites, Zillows and the MLSs, they're so powerful because they have this centralized feed, which I saw blockchain. I said, you know what, if we can get this to really work with inside our product, we're going to empower the individual on way more levels than you could normally. You know what I mean?
Oh, definitely. Look, you're sort of utilising blockchain technology to give it back to, say, the individual, the independent real estate agents or the sellers and buyers. So it's sort of the big platforms and big websites like realestate.com, and having that sort of using blockchain technology to integrate that with the property market. So it sort of gives that all back to the individual buyers and sellers, as you will. Hey,
that's it. So that's exactly what we set out to do. We want to make it a very good experience and also allow the mass market to leverage the blockchain. Real estate's a huge market. No one can deny that. So we, noticed that was a great opportunity to, one, put it behind what we were already building towards, which was a more, individual empowering platform, if I'd say that. And, it just fit like a glove, mate. It was very exciting, and still is, just the continual advancements you can do with blockchain technology around this sector is just incredible. So we want to be at the forefront of that space.
Definitely. So
yeah.
you mentioned you invested in NEO back in the day. I invested in NEO as well, going back a year or so ago, and I love NEO. I love the NEO platform. So it's really good news to hear that you chose NEO. And I guess wondering why choose NEO? What made you know?
I've always been personally fascinated with China. Obviously, they're one of the biggest markets on earth. And I thought, and I even saw from an early days, the level of support NEO had for its community, and how much of a tight-knit aspect it had, and I think when you look back, Da Hongfei, all these big guys, they really give this community aspect to where the project's heading. And I feel like I'm in better hands where, say, comparing to Ethereum or some of these ones where, the amount of just things that are going on with those platforms are on another level in terms of how many people are using them, some for good reasons and some for the wrong reasons. So NEO just, and even when you talk about theoretically what they could potentially get up to in transaction speeds and, where they could be one day is, and even the coding languages, it's such a more diverse platform in terms of having a mass market appeal, which is what I'm all about. I'm all about bringing cryptocurrency to the mainstream. The more people that are introduced to it as an asset class and, something to believe in, the better it's going to be for everyone involved. So I think that's, a great part of NEO, and the way they handle their community is, great. And I want to be a part of that. The ecosystem is just incredible. So.
Oh, definitely. I recognise even interviewing other NEO ICOs, just they feel like the values line up where you've got that. It's a family sort of. It's an ecosystem. So you feel like you're something part of something bigger. You've got the support. You've got the the community there. It's not like Ethereum and other sort of platforms where you're sort of left to your own demise. Of NEO, it seems like that's why it's so appealing. It's something it's growing and growing and growing. It's just a really good, and it's fast as well. It's a lot faster than Ethereum, and
it's incredible to use as well. And I just love the whole, the way it's managed, and the city of Zion, what they did with that was perfect. And talking with other guys like O3 Network and a few others, it's just a great community to be a part of, and you can just feel it's just a different energy,
Oh, definitely. So, mate, tell us about the token. So, your RET token and how that's a part of the Realista.
Of course. So there's plenty of aspects to it. So RET is going to be used as agent membership. So instead of doing a model where we would take fiat, for example, all around the world, which can be complicated, there's a lot of fees involved, we're happy to take our own token and implement that into the platform. And on the back of that, we're doing a decentralized data storage. And this is the big one. And that's in a way where, when I say data storage, it's not so much data storage, but more so a property data ledger on a global scale. And because I'll get into it. When you have property information, so I'm talking about sold listings, any sort of historical information that you see on any given listing, any type of element in terms of that, that's inputted by an agent, the individual. And in Australia, these guys, they give it to a company called CoreLogic, or RP Data, it used to be called. It gets printed in the Saturday paper, the Sunday paper auction results. Don't get any benefit out of that. And that's why you find a lot of agents doing the contact agent. They don't want to share their sold prices. They don't want to share their information because a competitor could be using that. And what we wanted to do was basically allow every single individual on Realista to take control of their data, their property listing photos, their information, their creatives, so the descriptions they put into their listings. And if anyone else wants to access their data, everyone gets a piece. And then eventually, as an agent, you can actually go ahead and if a third party wants to use it, say, for example, any sort of person who's monetizing that data in any way, shape or form, they will get credited an RET for that, and then therefore putting it back into the ecosystem. So that's a little bit of a taste on the agent side, and there's plenty more on our website. You can read our white paper. And then on the buyer side, we're doing applying for properties. which is the renter profile. Also doing, a myriad of other things for the buyers and renters, and that's going to continue to grow. So I had a lot of people hit me up in the early sort of stages, and they go, well, everyone's doing these payments with crypto. And I'm a bit of a realist. So no joke on the name, but I'm a bit of a realist in terms of I want to actually, I want to come through on the goals that we set forth as a team. I want to execute well, and I want to make sure we are at the forefront of actually implementing blockchain into Realista. And we're already starting to do that. So I want everything we set forth to do, we actually achieve. So these might not seem like the most audacious goals. I'm not going to come out here and say, hey, you're going to be able to use RET to pay your rent and all these different things, but we're actually going to eventually evolve into those types of things. So it's going to be a very exciting journey, to be honest. It's a very long-term one. It's not going to be like most of those cryptos you see where they go, we're going to be doing this in eight months. We've set out our goals very strategically because we want to come through, we want to build a long-term community, and we want to be one of the platforms that last 10, 15, 20 years. So that's where we've
got a long-term goal in place, and you are being real with, excuse the pun, with what's realistic. So, and what you're able to do, and you've sort of got a strategy in place. I see that on your roadmap. So just now moving on to your upcoming pre-sale and your crowd sale now. So what's happening with that, Duncan? When's that coming?
So at the moment, where we are right now is, so if you visit our website, we're doing a whitelist. We're whitelisting people that are interested in the sale, want to be a part of this initial one. So if you go to the bottom, you'll see the first 70 million RET and the rate we're giving that per NEO. And the exact NEO rate hasn't been announced yet. But that's our first whitelist sale. And, we're looking at a lot more institutional investors as well. Obviously, the market has changed. So we're really bringing in the initial community, people that have been along with us for a little while now, really understand the concept and the platform. And that's our first sale. The exact date for that hasn't been announced, but everyone who signs up for our whitelist and gets through, they will eventually be hearing from us very shortly in terms of the roadmap for those sales and when they're going to achieve. Obviously, you're the first one to know this. The market's been very, very volatile at the moment, very volatile. So last thing we want to be doing is putting our project in a position where it's not getting the recognition it deserves because of the way the market is at the moment. So we're really just sort of gathering a lot of interest, improving the platform, improving the product, getting more agents involved, getting that critical mass, getting the buyers signed up in all these different regions around the world, and really sort of going forward with that. But yeah, so our whitelist sale will be going ahead shortly in the next few months. So yeah, whitelist is open at the moment, and certain applicants will get through. And that's what we've been working on at the moment. So it's very exciting for the team. I've had great, we got featured on NEO News today the other day. We've been having great feedback from the NEO community. We've been getting a lot of whitelists. It's really starting to fill up. So it's been very exciting for the team, and we're continuing to see that grow day by day.
That's brilliant. Well, just you've gone through your ICO details, and how can people get involved in that? So say you're still waiting for that to be announced when that news comes out, Duncan?
Yeah, it's going to be quite simple. So anyone who signs up to the whitelist will eventually get asked for KYC once they get through the whitelist, of course, and therefore we'll be doing the sale after that. So right now we're just kind of gathering information from the community and people that want to be involved, and keeping up to date with us. Regular email updates with what the team's been doing on the platform and also with RET, and therefore we'll be making announcements accordingly. So yeah.
Mate, someone didn't ask you about earlier on, I've noticed you've got a functional application. It's something you don't see with many other ICOs, is yes. You've got it available for iOS and Android, so people can actually go on your website and have a look at your functional application.
110%. So we set out on building this first, and we I feel like there's a lot of projects in the space that, they promise a lot and they don't have much to back it up. We're on the other end of the spectrum in terms of we are very, very focused on building a product everyone that gets involved in Realista can be proud of and actually come along on the journey for and actually work and get critical mass in the market. Because I feel like the most successful cryptocurrencies are going to be the ones that actually get everyday people engaged in their product and their platform. So we set out to build this application. It launched in July 2017. And this is obviously the more centralized front end. That's going to be the core part for the eventual blockchain use case and getting the initial people on, signing them up, making it very simple for everyday people to access crypto, ROT in particular. So we launched that on iOS and Android. We've had over 40,000 agents sign up over time, through different marketing means. And it's been very exciting. So I think you're going to see more and more advancements with that. We currently have 3D tours on our website. So we partnered with a company in the US called Matterport. We did 3D virtual tours. Feel free to go and try that out on realista.com.au. So we're having our first influx of listings, which is very exciting. I'm going to continue to take over more markets and more listings in the coming months, which is very exciting.
That's great, because it seems like you're not just focusing on Australia, looking at expanding overseas as well. That's also your long-term future plan is that it's not just in Australia. You're looking at tapping into a global real estate market. And that's what I noticed on your website. You had US on there. You had all these different New Zealand. So the potential is global, not just in Australia. And this is something that blockchain and your application people investing into you guys it really opens up the world.
110%. It's, there's no ceiling on this. And I think, it's only going to get bigger. And that's the exciting thing. We've got so many USA agents, they love it. Spoken agents in the UK, they love it. New Zealand agents, they love it. Australia loves it. Obviously, because there's a real problem. There's a real problem. And if I can put blockchain into the problem and help solve that, then, that's a win-win for everyone involved. So we're really excited to continue to expand this. And, there's so many countries around the world. Real estate is by far one of the biggest markets in the world. So we're really excited to, be at the forefront of that on a global scale, which I haven't seen many people do. It's very country based for a lot of these websites. So it's quite exciting.
Going that next level, you don't see a lot of real estate, even outside of blockchain, going global. So it's really good to see that sort of next level. So mate, with NEO in mind and with blockchain in mind, are you looking at going to any conferences in the future? Are you looking at in Australia or in the US when you're looking at opening up your beta, say in the US in the future? Or is a future plan?
So we've already got, a little bit of critical mass in the US, which has been very exciting. We're growing that currently quite rapidly. But yeah, definitely a lot of NEO, a lot of NEO conferences are on the cards. I'm actually thinking of going to Shanghai very soon in the next few weeks. I'd love to see how their operation runs and going and seeing a few of the things and the way they do it over there, because I've always been fascinated with their market and the way they do things. So very excited. Really about to tap into that NEO community a little bit more and build up Realista's name as a real NEO leader and especially in the real estate space. So that's where we are now. We've had a lot of good word from people high up in the NEO ecosystem that, we're poised to be one of the leaders for NEO in the real estate sector. So that's where we want to be. And also that Chinese market eventually is just incredible. And NEO is a great gateway to that as well.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, just with the relations between Australia and China and the trade relations there, it seems like another reason why you choose a NEO. And I'm so glad to just have a NEO, crowd sale here in Australia. So it's really good. Well, Duncan, so great. It's great talking to you, mate. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks so much, Jamie. I appreciate coming on the, on the interview and the AMA. It's been great. And, wish you the best. I'll be sure to keep everyone posted. Sure.
Guys, if you need to see any information, their links, Telegram group, they've got 25,000 Telegram users on there at the moment. It's huge. That's Twitter, the website, it all be down on the links below. So be sure to check them out, guys. Thank you, Duncan, for your time, and I'll catch you later, mate.
Thanks, Jamie. Appreciate it, mate. See you later.
Yeah.